Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, also the host of We Need to Talk on every Sunday at noon, and then I post it up to Facebook. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. The views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other therapist for that matter. Boom shakalaka done. I'd like to thank my sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. They're an online therapy company. They are international. They are all over the world. They are licensed professional, master's level or PhD level therapists. If you need to get there, you just fill out a few questions and they will get you to somebody who is appropriate to what you are looking for. So thank you, BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. Okay. Housekeeping, I am going to be in Tampa, Florida on December 2nd. If you wish to get tickets to that meet and greet, go to chrisgodinez.com and there are tickets there available. And I like to bring goodies to people that come to those events. So I'm bringing some books for people. So anyway, there is that. Okay, questions. Let's dive into those. I can't think of anything else. Okay. All right, let's dive into the questions. Okay, do you have any advice for staying one step ahead of a narcissistic parent that will just show up at Thanksgiving? Whoa! Okay, narcissists are known to do that. So my suggestion would be either don't have it at your house or be prepared. You know, what if they're narcissistic and they're going to cause problems, they're just going to show up and you didn't invite them, you have the right to either not answer the door or say no. Again, realize that's going to cause some issues. Or you just don't have it at your house. You know, go hold it somewhere else. That's one way to avoid that happening. Do they do things like that? Absolutely. They are known for just walking into people's houses, not even knocking, just walking on in. Again, sense of entitlement. You really cannot underestimate the sense of entitlement, that everything is theirs, that, you know, privacy is not even going to enter their mind. It's not. A sense of decorum, a sense of being invited, none of that. They think it's owed to them. So I would say don't have Thanksgiving at your house. If you don't want the person just showing up at your house, have it somewhere else. Rent an Airbnb. Go have it at a friend's house. Go have it at somebody else's house. And if then your narcissistic parent shows up to that house, okay, well, what do you want to do? You can say no. You cannot answer the door. This is the thing that really messes a lot of adult children up, is that we've been so trained to give in to the narcissist's wants, needs, desires, whatever, that we feel bad or guilty for telling them no, because they do one of two things. They either try to do the intimidation thing and they try to huff and puff and blow the house down, or they try to do the breaking into a million pieces. So the over narcissists tend to do the huffing and puffing and blow the house down. I'll get you, my pretty, and I'll show you, and you're a horrible kid, and da-da-da-da-da, you know, all of this crap. Or they do the breaking into a million pieces. That's usually the coverts that do that. They play the victim. Nobody loves me. Everybody hates me. I'll just go to the garden and eat big, slimy, hairy worms. You know, that whole thing. You never write, you never cool. You know, that whole thing. So just know that that's how they're going to behave. If they have a tendency or a propensity to just show up without being invited, don't hold it at your house. Go somewhere else. Have it at a friend's house. Rent an Airbnb, you know, do something. You're not a tree. You're not stuck to just being in your house. You can go other places. You could go to a restaurant. There's lots of restaurants. Oh, my hair is flipping out today. You can go to a restaurant. There's lots of restaurants that do Thanksgivings, you know. But if you did not specifically invite the narcissistic parent, then just don't be there or don't answer the door. So again, when a narcissist shows up at somebody's house, whether that's an ex, whether it's a parent, a sibling, etc., and it's somebody you're no contact with, and you've made it clear, we're not speaking, we're not talking, we're not whatever, and they show up, don't answer the door. They can pound and pound and pound until the cows come home. You know, and will that disrupt your day? Yeah, absolutely. But you know what? You're under no obligation, and then you can call the police on them if you want to. So again, we've got to stop being afraid of them. So when a narcissist huffs and puffs and tries the intimidation route, that just shows me how afraid they are. And then when they do the breaking into 1,000 pieces, that just shows me how manipulative they are. Normal, healthy people just don't show up at people's houses. They call or text and say, hey, I'm in the neighborhood. Are you home? I'd love to see you. And if they say no, okay, catch you next time. You know, narcissists, on the other hand, don't announce that they're coming over. They just show up and either walk in, or, which is why you always want to lock your doors, or they insist that you let them in, or they, you know, sit there and pound on the door. Oh boy, have I got a story for you. When you remember my dad, it was absolutely disordered. He had every single personality issue you could possibly think of. When my oldest sister got divorced, he would just show up at her house and just walk in. No knocking, no nothing. Okay. And when any of us locked our doors against him so that he couldn't intimidate us, threaten us, be inappropriate with us, whatever, he would stand at the door and just pound and pound and pound, and he was enraged. It was like listening to a 2-year-old have an absolute temper tantrum. He was being denied something he wanted, that he thought he needed, and when we denied him, oh my God, he would literally have a temper tantrum. And I finally got to the point where I was like, you can bust that door down. I'm not opening it, you know? And that's where you got to get. You got to get to the point where it's like, okay, they're crazy. They're going to bang on your door and scream and have a fit and come unglued, or break into a million tears. Now, my dad would never break into a million tears because he was an overt narcissistic disordered person. But you know, the pounding on the door and the screaming and the yelling and the intimidation and I'm going to get you, my pretty, and all of that. It's like, call the cops, call the police. If they're not invited, you are under no obligation, you know. And a lot of times what narcissists will do, or abusers will do, especially around the holiday season, is if you've gone no contact with them, they'll pull the showing up without an invitation. And then they'll do the whole, I'm going to cut you out of my will. I'm going to show you. I'm going to. So that is what they do. That's just, so you're under no obligation to play. How do you stay ahead of them? Don't be there. Go to a friend's house. Go to a restaurant. Hold your Thanksgiving somewhere else. Don't be in town. Don't answer the door. You know, you don't have to answer the door. You don't have to pick up the phone. You know, narcissists, oftentimes, if you don't pick up the phone immediately, they'll call and call and call and call and call and call and text and text and text and text, because they can't stand being ignored. That is narcissistic injury like nobody's business. Nothing gives me more pleasure than to be like, nope, not playing that game. You can call until the hounds of hell make their way back home. Sorry. Nope, not answering. Have fun with that. So yeah, you just don't put up with it. You just don't answer the door, or you go somewhere else, or you know, if you know that this person is going to show up unannounced and uninvited, don't be there. Go do something else. Go to a restaurant. Go rent an Airbnb. Go to a friend's house. Go to some other relative's house, and then, you know, have everybody come up with a plan for what to do if this person shows up. So that's the best way to handle that. Hold on. Let me get to the next question. If they are looking to squash the competition, whoa, that got big really fast. Okay. If they are looking to squash the competition during the holidays by telling a better story, doing better things, etc., is it better to keep quiet and not challenge them, or to confront them on their lies? Confronting them is never going to do anything. They will never admit to lying, ever. Ever. Even if it's a bald-faced lie. I will watch them dig their heels in and tell a bigger lie, you know, and just keep going. It's like they double down. They double down. They absolutely refuse to acknowledge that they're... So here's the thing. They, in their minds, have to be the center of attention. Have to. At whatever gathering they're at, they have to be the center of attention. And they will tell these whopper stories. You know, if you say you've done something great, they've done something greater. If you say you've been somewhere amazing, they've been somewhere more amazing. If you say, you know, so just don't play. Get up and walk away. You don't. They can entertain the people around them. You can go have a nice conversation with somebody in the kitchen or whatever. You know, it honestly, in my personal opinion, I would not invite one of these people to Thanksgiving. I absolutely would not. I would refuse to allow them. I just, nope, not going to be here. Sorry. Going to be out of town, even if I'm staying home. You know, life is too short, guys. Life is too short. The holiday seasons are too short. Enjoy them. And you can enjoy them narcissist free. You don't owe these people, and I use the term people loosely, anything. You really don't. So don't even, you know, everything's a competition for them. It's the craziest things they'll want to be in competition with. You know, it's like, yeah, they'll pick anything to be in competition because they have to win and they have to be the best and they have to be this and they have to be that. So just don't play. Don't play. It's like when they start doing that, oh, that's interesting. Oh, I'm going to go over here now. You don't have to sit and listen to them either. You're under no obligation. You are not. And we feel, because we're healthy, normal people, we feel we're being rude when we gray rock. We're not. We're not being rude. Honestly, the kindest thing you can do for yourself and for the narcissist is to not play their games. Absolutely not play their games. No, they're never going to change. They're never going to get better. There's no reason you need to be hostage to their dysfunction. Okay? That's the kindest thing you can do is for yourself is to just get up and walk away. And for them, really, you know, it's like I said, they're not going to do things that they're not assured at winning at. So you may be able to nip some of this behavior in the bud for other people, you know? So, you know, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Narcissists rule through intimidation. They rule through guilt, fear, obligation, and guilt. Fog. Fear, obligation, guilt. So if being intimidating doesn't work, then they're going to go to the guilt and the obligation. Well, you owe me and poor me and all of this stuff. And they will flip between whatever they think is going to work. And if you just keep showing them it's not working, eventually they stop. They do. Because they're not getting their rocks off. They're not feeling powerful. They know that they're not in charge. So there you go. All right. The kid is me. Wait. The kid in me is still mad that I didn't get things that I wanted when I was a child. How do I resolve the feelings of being angry about the past? Well, you acknowledge it. You have a right to be angry. Let's be clear. I get so sick and tired of these TikTokers and Instagrammers and people that have no clue about psychology going, oh, you don't want to be angry. You know, you need to spiritually bypass this. No. Wrong. Here's the deal. I hate it when people are like, oh, you have to forgive them. Or, oh, you know, you can't be angry. Okay, that's what a narcissist says, guys. Let's be clear about that. Anybody who tells you you cannot have a normal emotion, that's what narcissists do. How many times did we get told by a narcissistic parent or narcissistic ex or whatever, you can't be mad at me? Yeah, I can. Watch me. You know, there is justifiable anger. There's righteous anger. There is. So when we are raised by a narcissist, it's not the stuff. It's not the things that you wanted as a child. It was the emotions. They weren't there. And because they weren't there, the emotions weren't there, stuff wasn't there, none of it was there, you're pissed. And it's okay. It's okay. So really, it's acknowledging it. I would work the Inner Child Workbook by either Catherine Taylor or Regaining Your Inner Child by Lucia Cappuccioni. I would work those books. I would work on that inner child and let your inner child know that you're the parent now. You to mama or to daddy or both now, okay? And you're going to give that child what they need. Now, that does not mean stuff, okay? It means the love. It means the respect. Kids, narcissistic parents do not respect their children. They view the child as an extension of them. And if I can find my pens, they're there. We have no more. Let me just drop that on the ground. Hold on. Okay. We have no more meaning to them than this pen. We really don't. We have no more meaning to them than this pen. We're an extension of them. We make them look good. Okay. And if we don't make them look good, well, we don't exist. So really, it's the emotions. It's the respect. It's the love that was missing. And again, with that, the stuff kind of things. Because parents who are loving and kind to their children don't need the stuff so much. I mean, it's fun to get for sure, but the stuff kind of has been substituted for respect and love and things like that. Narcissists conflate love with stuff. Okay. So when they're showing somebody that they love them, and I put that in big, huge bunny ears, they give them stuff. So if you notice, the golden child gets stuff, right? Because that's the only way the narcissist knows how to make them obligated to them, number one. And number two, to show them that they love them when it's not love. Stuff is not love. Stuff is not love. It's the experiences. Again, I cannot say that enough. Stuff is not love. It's the experiences. It's being with the person. It's having the wonderful conversations. It's knowing that that person has got your back and knowing that they love you and respect you and all of that good stuff. That's the good stuff. That's the good stuff. So narcissists throw gifts at people, and it's very arbitrary and it's very capricious and it's very strings attached and the whole thing. So you resolve the feelings of being angry by acknowledging it and writing it out. Dear mom, dear dad, dear caregiver, whoever it was, I am so GD angry about this. And you go to town and you call them every single name in the book and do whatever you need to. And at the very end of it, I have righteous anger and it's okay for me to be angry. And I'll be angry with you as long as I need to. And when I'm not angry, okay, then I can let it go. And then you trot it out to the barbecue, you read it out loud once, and then you burn it. And you let the smoke carry the words to wherever it needs to go. Heaven, hell, New Jersey, whatever. Do you see where I'm going with that? So that's how you resolve that, is you allow. You allow. A lot of these influencers who don't have a psychology degree, who don't know their hind end from a hole in the ground, do this whole, oh, you can't be angry. Oh, anger is a futile emotion. My dad used to say that. Anger is a good emotion. All emotions are good, okay? It's what we do with them that makes them either helpful or hurtful. I am going to sneeze. Oh my God. What is up with this? Okay, now I'm not going to sneeze. Okay. So it either makes them helpful or hurtful. Anger is important because it lets us know where we have been hurt. Anger is not a pure emotion. Love is love, lust is lust, happy is happy, sad is sad. Anger is the bodyguard of hurt and fear and sadness. It keeps them safe. Because if we're raging and Incredible Hulk and we're keeping people at arm's length, nobody's going to hurt us. In our little child mind, that's what we think. That is not reality. So anger is a protector, okay? So when John and I were first dating and going through therapy and all of this sort of fun stuff, he would ask me when I got angry, he's like, what are you afraid of? And of course, I get really pissed off at him. And then truth is such free right after it pisses you off. And then I would go deep and figure out what it was I was afraid of or where I got hurt. One of the two, because that's what was driving the anger. That's what drives everybody's anger. It's part of the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. So when we perceive a threat, amygdala lights up, hippocampus, hypothalamus get involved, release the cortisol, we're tense, we stop breathing, we're taking puffy little breaths, and then that tells another part of the brain to release the adrenaline. The adrenal gland goes, dumps everything at once, racing thoughts, pounding heart, puffy little breaths, not going anywhere, we're not thinking really clearly. People do one of two things. They either go into the stereotypical panic attack, which is the, oh my God, I can't breathe, and then they keel over, or they turn into the Incredible Hulk. Bruce Banner, hello. Yes, so anger is a part of the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn response. It keeps us safe. Really, it's evolutionarily, it's keeping us safe. Unfortunately, that doesn't work really well if you want relationships with people. So it's really a good idea to allow your anger, to acknowledge your anger. And I'm having anger. I feel anger over this. I was hurt. I didn't get what I needed. But really, what didn't I get? It wasn't the Mattel toys. It was love or respect or, normal human kindness or compassion or, so you go deep and you figure out what is that really about. But you acknowledge it. It's okay to be angry. It is. And I hate it when I get supposedly religious people, and I put that in big bunny ears too, that are like, oh, forgive, 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 forgive. Okay, well, you can't get to forgiveness until you've gotten through the anger. And you don't want to do idiot compassion. So you don't want to be like, oh, I forgive you, and then let them do it again. That's idiot compassion. Compassion is like, okay, I'm angry, I got hurt, and I see who they are. They've shown me who they are. No, thank you. I'm not going to have that in my life. I'm not. So idiot compassion is where you're like, oh, they've shown me who they are, but I'm going to keep letting them come back in and do the same thing over and over again. No, the outcome is never going to be different. Listen to me now. Believe me later. They, say it with me, do not change. They do not change. They do not change. I really wish somebody would write a song about that. They do not change. They don't. Because they're not interested. There's no payoff. There's no payoff for them. They'd have to be responsible. They'd have to feel. And they don't feel. They don't know how to feel. They don't have that empathy cog. They don't. And that's why they hate anybody who does. Because other people have something that they don't have and will never have. So, yeah, you allow yourself to be angry and you write it out and you get with a good trauma therapist. Work it through. Read The Inner Child Workbook by Catherine Taylor or Regaining Your Inner Child by Lucia Cappuccioni. Do the Self-Esteem Workbook by Glenn Schiraldi. CPTSD from Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. The Body Keeps Score by Bessel van der Kolk. He's awesome. I love him. Frank Anderson has got some good stuff out there. Work through this stuff. All emotions are okay. It's what we do with them that makes them helpful or hurtful. Now, what a narcissist does is when they feel anger, they spew it out all over everybody instead of taking responsibility for it. You made me angry. You did this. The you guns come flying out. No, I am feeling angry because, and you own it. And then you do something with it, The other thing I recommend too is if writing is not your thing, if you're just like, I don't like writing, I'm not really crazy about it, get a punching bag. Get a punching bag and start punching the punching bag and talking it out. That's another way to do it. Because kids, think about it, when kids process emotions, they do it very physically first. And then it gets emotional because cognitively they don't have the ability to go through all of the emotions and figure them out. So, like, for example, when I was working at the Dougie Center, we would, deal with a lot of grief. And so when the child was dealing with grief, they'd have this breakthrough or this emotion or this thought, and they'd be like, I want to go play. Okay, let's go play. And they'd get clay and they'd pound the clay and they'd do all of this. And we had one child that would play with a sand tray, and they were constantly doing a thing about being lost in the desert, and, this person died, and they were processing the death. And so it's really important to honor however you process. It might be artistic. It might be singing. It might be punching a bag. It might be writing things out. It might be getting a sand tray and playing in the sand tray with little figurines. Whatever works for you. I don't care. I just want you to process it. So that's what's important. Honor the emotions. Acknowledge them. Validate them. You have a right to be angry. You do. Narcissists treat their children like doo-doo. They do, because we are objects to them. We have no more meaning than this pen. And when we run out of ink and we're not making them feel good or look good, they get rid of us. So you have a right to your anger. So write it out. But remember, it's not about the stuff. What emotions were lacking? How were they not present? Like really present. Like a good parent is present. A good parent is engaging and present and lets that kid know that they're wonderful and they love them and they respect them. Sometimes without even having to say anything. So, yeah. So that's what you want to look at. All right, my loves. That is it for this week. I said I was going to figure out what I was talking about, and I still haven't yet. So I will figure it out, and I will post it on Saturday what the topic is going to be. It's been a crazy week because I've been having all the people that I didn't see for the last 2 weeks suddenly come in, so I'm slammed. All right, my loves, you guys go have a great day, and I will talk to you on Sunday. Talk to you later. Bye.